Okay, let's just get right into it. What if I told you that the one thing you do all day, every day, breathing, like 20,000 times a day, is actually the secret source of your stress? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, but let's dive into this idea. So let this sink in for a second. What if anxiety isn't, a feeling at all? What if it's just a bad habit? Think about it. That tightness in your chest, your heart racing, that brain fog you can't shake. What if it's not some deep psychological flaw, but just a mechanical glitch, a simple habit your body picked up that's now working against you? And look, if you're a high achiever, I know you feel this. It's the burnout. It's the constant distraction. It's that low-grade hum of stress that's just always there. You're driven, you're getting things done, but you're caught in this trap, right? This cycle of pushing hard and then feeling completely wiped. It almost feels like that's just the price of admission these days. That always-on switch is just draining you, and you know. So naturally, you think the problem is your job, right? Or your inbox that never seems to empty. Or maybe you just need a better mindset. We blame all the stuff out there, the deadlines, the notifications, the endless meetings. We keep telling ourselves, I just need to think more positively. But what if that's all a distraction? What if the real enemy isn't out there at all? What if it's much, much closer? Like literally right under your nose? Okay, so to win this battle, you've got to know who you're fighting. And this is where it gets interesting, because the villains in this story, they're not what you think. We're talking about the myths, the bad advice that's keeping you stressed out. So here's villain number one, the idea that taking a giant gulp of air will calm you down. I mean, we've all heard it, right? Just take a deep breath. But it turns out that might be the worst advice ever. Here's the crazy part. Your body actually needs carbon dioxide, yeah, CO2, to use the oxygen you breathe in. Think of CO2 as the key that unlocks oxygen from your blood cells and delivers it to your brain and muscles. When you overbreathe, you get rid of too much CO2, so that oxygen stays locked up. You're literally starving your brain of oxygen right when you need it most. Wild, right?
And that main villain? It's got friends. These are the internal villains that help it out. You've got hustle culture, which basically trains your body to be in a constant state of emergency. Then there's the always-on mindset, which never lets you power down. And the big one, the belief that anxiety is all in your head. Because we think it's just a thought problem, we never even think to look for a physical cause, which, it turns out, is probably how you're breathing.
And all of this leads us to the ringleader of this whole operation, chronic hyperventilation. Now, hold on. I'm not talking about the dramatic gasping for air you see in a movie. Nope. This is much sneakier. It's quiet. It's breathing just a tiny bit more than your body actually needs. Maybe you breathe through your mouth a lot, or you're always sighing. This subtle, constant overbreathing is what tanks your CO2 levels, and that is the direct trigger for feeling dizzy, a racing heart, or even feeling like you can't get enough air. So, if breathing more is the problem, then what's the solution? Well, this is the big plot twist. The secret to being more calm and focused isn't about getting more air in. It's about learning to breathe less, but way, way better. And if you're wondering why this matters, check this out. There was a study that looked at mysterious aircraft accidents, and they found that when pilots' CO2 levels dropped from overbreathing, their mental performance just nosedived. We're talking a 15 to 30% drop. So just think about that. Next time you're staring at a spreadsheet trying to focus, the way you're breathing could literally be sabotaging your own brain. And this is how you get trapped in what's called the panic loop. It goes like this. You start to feel stressed, so your breathing gets a little faster, a little more shallow. Your CO2 levels drop. Your brain senses this, and get this, it thinks you're suffocating. So it sounds a big red alarm. That alarm triggers all the classic panic symptoms. Your chest gets tight, your heart pounds, and what do you do when you feel that? You try to breathe even faster, which just makes the whole thing worse. It's a vicious, terrifying cycle.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. The science is solid on this. Research from places like the University at Albany has found that the physical symptoms of hyperventilation and anxiety are basically identical. In one study, they actually found that students with high anxiety had physically lower levels of CO2 and breathed faster than students with low anxiety. It's not just in your head, it's a measurable physical connection.
So how do we break out of that panic loop? We use our body's built-in emergency brake, the vagus nerve. You can think of it like a superhighway running from your lungs straight to your brain. When you deliberately slow your breathing down, especially the exhale, you send a message right up that highway to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, stand down. Your brain gets the message, tells your body to chill out, and suddenly you've created a good feedback loop, a loop of relaxation.
All right, Do you know the villain? And you've met your secret weapon. Now it's time to fill your arsenal. Let's talk about the actual tools you can use to defeat that daily stress.
And here is your new mantra from breathing expert Patrick McKeown. Good breathing during rest should not be seen or heard. This is so important. Healthy breathing is supposed to be subtle. It's supposed to be quiet. The goal isn't to be a giant air pump. It's to be efficient. The key, believe it or not, is to just breathe less.
Okay, here are your first 3 weapons. Super simple, you can start right now. Number 1, breathe through your nose. Always. Day, night, all the time. Your nose is literally a perfect little machine for breathing right. Number 2, ditch the sighing. Every time you sigh, you're just dumping a bunch of that precious CO2. So when you feel a sigh coming, try swallowing instead. It works. And number 3, just pay attention to your breath sometimes. Is it loud? Is your chest heaving? Your goal should be to make it totally silent and light.
Now, how do you know if you're getting better? You can actually measure it. It's called your BOLT score. That stands for Body Oxygen Level Test. It's super easy. You just breathe out normally, pinch your nose, and time how long it takes before you feel that first real urge to breathe in. If that number is under 20 seconds, it's a pretty clear sign you're a chronic overbreather. But the best part, it's not a permanent score. You can train it and watch that number go up.
So that's all great, but how do you actually use this stuff when you're in the thick of it? When you're stressed at work, let's talk about winning the battle right at your desk. Okay, here is your secret weapon, your emergency panic button. The next time you feel that wave of stress coming on, right before a huge presentation or after you get a really annoying email, I want you to do the weirdest thing. Just hold your breath, gently exhale, and then hold for maybe 10 or 15 seconds. That little pause is just enough time for your CO2 levels to build back up, and it completely short-circuits that stress response. It's like a system reset.
So if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The next time you feel that anxiety creeping in, stop asking yourself, what am I so worried about? Instead, ask yourself, how am I breathing? Because here's the big punchline. An anxious brain isn't an overthinking brain. It's an under-breathing brain. Not in volume, but in efficiency. Your breath hasn't been betraying you. It's been waiting for you to use it as the powerful tool it is to take back your calm and your focus, starting right now.